Good morning, guys. What's going on here with another episode here in Nolan's Pod? The playoffs are continuing. That's what we're going to talk about today. But today we're going to break this thing down. And I'm going to break it down for you guys. Who's in more trouble? Question. Who is in more trouble in their respective series? Is it the Minnesota Timberwolves or is it the New York Knicks? Now, as we know, let's start with the Knicks series. So I just asked you guys, who's in more trouble? Listen, who is in more trouble? The Knicks in their respective series or the Minnesota Timberwolves in their respective series? So we're going to start with the Knicks in Indiana. Obviously, you know, game 1 and game 2, the Knicks had home court advantage. They get those two games at home, 2-0. You thinking that we going to Indiana? Indiana needs to win 2 games, so they're in trouble. Indiana goes home. They have home court advantage. They get game 3 and game 4. So the flip side of the other series, Minnesota, the Timberwolves, and the Denver Nuggets. The Timberwolves take home court advantage away from the Denver Nuggets. They steal 2 on the road. The Timberwolves go back home, and the Denver Nuggets steal 2 at Minnesota's place. So my question again, who's in more trouble in a 2-2 series now in their respective series? Is it the Knicks or is it the Minnesota Timberwolves? My answer is going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the reason why I say the Minnesota Timberwolves, the first 2 games, the Timberwolves, they dominated at Denver. It was surprising and shocking to everybody in the world. Surprising to me, it was surprising to everybody. They go home feeling good about themselves, and they went home feeling a little too good about themselves. They went home feeling a lot good about themselves because that's how they played at home. Very, very lackadaisical. No sense of urgency at all. Those 2 games that they played at home, that Denver came on their home floor and won. They played like they played like we know we're up 2-0. We're gonna slack off. We don't gotta show up. We don't really have to play like that today because we're up 2 on the series. And Denver seen that, and they took full advantage of it. They took full advantage of it. And now Denver goes back home with a lot of momentum. A lot of us wrote Denver off and said after the first 2 games that Denver lost that they were done. It was more than likely that they were probably going to get swept. And honestly, how Denver played game 1 and game 2, it did look like y'all was going to get swept. So when Mike Malone, head coach of the Denver Nuggets, says, well, I showed my players what the media was saying. I showed them clips of what the media was saying. They wrote us off. We were going to get swept. We weren't going to win this series. I showed my players what they were saying, how they counted us out. Well, Mike Malone, I got news for you. You guys played horrible game 1 and game 2 on your home floor. Am I right or am I wrong? So, a natural response from people like in the media, we are thinking like, it did look like y'all were going to get swept. How y'all played game 1 and game 2. Congratulations. Do you want a cookie? You did what you were supposed to do. You won game 3 and you won game 4. Do you want some ice cream with that too or what? That's what you were supposed to do. If you want to keep the series alive, win game 3 and win game 4. But how y'all played game 1 and game 2, it did look like y'all was going to get swept. It did look like y'all was going to win only 1 game in this series or none. So by you showing your players that, Mike Malone, it's how you guys were playing that made us say that. Now that you won game 3 and game 4, obviously now we have a whole different perspective on it that y'all might steal this series. And then some people think that Minnesota, if they win game 5 on y'all home floor, that they could possibly steal the series. But I'm saying, let me tell you something. Minnesota won 2 games at Denver. They play again tonight, game 5 at Denver. They are very capable and they know that they can beat Denver on their home floor. It remains to be seen if that happens or not. Hopefully it does. I hope they do it. Obviously, because I'm a fan of Ant-Man. But I got news for that too. Ant-Man did his thing. He had a better game 4 than he did game 3. But the thing about it, Ant-Man had a better game 4, but the rest of his teammates didn't show up. Ant-Man had 44 points, 5 from 8 from downtown, 16 and 25 from the field. That's pretty doggone good if you ask me. Jaden McDaniels, 11 points, 4 for 8 from the field. Okay, Jaden McDaniels, he's going to give you usually around to 10 or 11 points. Rudy Gobert is the defensive player of the year. He had 11 points, 14 rebounds on 3 for 5 shooting. Even though he had a double-double, did Rudy, it's always in the playoffs where he becomes a defensive liability. And granted, it is hard to guard Joker. Nobody can defend Joker. I'm not asking Rudy Gobert to just stop Joker because it's not going to happen. Can't nobody stop Joker. Even the defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert, can't. But, Rudy, you cannot be a defensive liability every postseason. You can't. You cannot keep hurting your team. You have to step up defensively, Rudy Gobert, and your teammates have to help you do that. One adjustment that y'all should make on the defensive end to help Rudy Gobert is stop double-teaming Joker. That's one mistake that the Lakers made when they played Denver in the first round. Stop double-teaming Joker. If Joker gets his, so be it. Don't let the other people get theirs, because obviously Joker's a good passer. He sees a double team. Y'all going to double team him. He's going to kick it out to Jamal Murray. He's going to kick it out to KCP. He's going to kick it out to Michael Porter Jr. He's going to kick it out to Christian Brown. He's going to kick it out to Peyton Watson. He's going to kick it out to Reggie Jackson. All those guys. If he sees a double team, he's going to kick it out, and they're going to hit the 3 or the 2-point shot. Just play single coverage. Let Joker do his thing. Don't double team him. If Joker beats you, so be it. Don't let those other players beat you from downtown because they're already a good 3-point shooting team. Play Joker single coverage. That's one way to help y'all defense. Obviously, Mike Conley shot 5 from 12 from the field in game 1. Mike Conley cannot go 5 from 12 from the field. He had 15 points and he was 3 for 7 for 3, but he can't go 5 from 12 from the field. Naz Reid, 6th man of the year. He only had 11 points on 5 for 6 shooting and 1 for 2 from downtown. Naz Reid, 11 points, 5 for 6 shooting. Okay, that's good. But you're the 6th man of the year, Naz Reid. I need 8 to 20 points from you, Naz Reid. 18, excuse me. Not 8 to 20 points, but like 18 to 20 points. Or 16 to 18 points at least. Not no 11 points. You was very efficient with the few shots you took, but you need to be around 16 to 18 points, Naz Reid. You the reigning 6th man of the year. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, you are 1 for 7 from the field. You need to be hitting your jump shots when they're feeding the ball to you, or when Ant-Man's getting double teamed. You need to be hitting your shots, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You were a non-factor. They need you on the defensive end too, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You was a non-factor on that end too because your jump shot wasn't going. It's very unusual when you see a team lose when you out-rebound a team by like 10 or 11 rebounds. And that's what the Minnesota Timberwolves did. They out-rebounded the Denver Nuggets by like 10 or 11 boards. It's unusual when you see a team get out-rebounded and they still lose. Minnesota, obviously, y'all jump shots wasn't going. Y'all 3-point shots wasn't going. And y'all still trying to get them up. Take the ball to the freaking basket. If your jump shot's not going, take the ball to the freaking basket so you can see a shot go through the hoop. You see a shot go in at the basket. Then you can step out and take a 3-pointer and probably go in once you see the ball go through the basket. But if you ain't seeing the ball go through the basket because you keep missing, you ain't going to make nothing. Take the ball to the hoop or get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the basket, and then you feel more comfortable about your jump shots. Don't keep taking the threes. Y'all not hitting it, and that's how y'all keep doing. Drive the ball to the paint. Get fouled. Try to get to the line. Like I said, Ant-Man needs his teammates, Cat was a no-show. 13 points, 12 rebounds. Even though he had a double-double, woohoo, he still had a double-double. But he was 5 for 18 from the field and 1 for 4 for 3. A lot of Cat shots that Cat was taking, it was very forced shots. And I mean, not the defense forcing him to shoot. It was Cat forcing himself to shoot. It was Cat just not taking. Let me start right here. You have to take what the game gives you. You have to let the game come to you. You can't come to the game. You have to let the game come to you. If you have the shot and it's there, take it. If you don't have the shot, quit trying to force up a jump hook. Quit trying to force stuff up. You playing right into the defense's hands. Granted, Aaron Gordon has did a phenomenal job on Cat, but Cat, you had a bad game 1, and then you bounced back and had a good game 2. So what I'm saying is, Cat, you had a good game. You had a bad game 1, but y'all won. So it was swept under the rug. You had a good game 2, y'all won. You had a bad game 4, and y'all lost. And now we talking about it. Cat, you gotta let the game come to you. Like I said, if your jump shot not going down, which it wasn't, don't keep forcing it up there and hoping and praying that it's gonna fall, because it's not gonna fall. Cat, you 7 feet. Take the ball to the freaking basket. Get fouled, Cat. You an 88% free throw shooter, Cat. Go to the hoop, get fouled, go to the line, see the ball go to the basket. And then when he did go to the line, he missed like 2 or 3 free throws that was uncharacteristic. So it was uncharacteristic of Cat. So it was just an off night for Cat. But take what the defense gives you, Cat. Let the game come to you. You don't have to force nothing. You Karl Anthony Towns. You all-star. You don't have to force nothing. You don't have to force nothing. I know you got Aaron Gordon on you. Aaron Gordon's a very, very good defender. But you don't have to force it. So that's why I'm saying that the Minnesota Timberwolves are in some deep trouble, because if Ant-Man's the only one that's going to show up, as he usually does, if he's the only one that's going to show up and none of the teammates follow suit, y'all in big trouble. So we know what Ant-Man's going to do. What are the rest of the guys around Ant-Man going to do? Moving on to the next thing I was talking about. I said the Minnesota Timberwolves were the team that was in trouble. The reason why I did not say that the New York Knicks are in trouble, even though they just dropped 2 games at Indiana, was because Indiana did exactly what they were supposed to do. They had home court advantage. They didn't have a choice but to win Game 3 or Game 4. If not, their season's over. So Indiana did exactly what they were supposed to do Game 3 and Game 4 on their home floor. The reason why I just said that the Knicks are not in trouble, because the Knicks are going back home for Game 5 tonight. And they have the benefit of 2 things. The first benefit is they're going back home. They play well at home at the Garden. They play well. Throughout this whole postseason, they played well at the Garden. 2, the second benefit is they have the benefit of the whistle and the referee. It's sad that I have to address this, but they're probably going to get a lot of calls being that they're at home, and being that it's rigged. The NBA is rigged, and they want to see a big city and a big market team like the New York Knicks get advanced further than they can. They want to see those guys advance to the Eastern Conference Finals rather than seeing a small market team like the Indiana Pacers advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. So the benefit of home court advantage and the benefit of the refs are probably going to be on their bull crap again tonight, unfortunately. And the Knicks are probably going to get a lot of calls. Game 3 and Game 4, the Knicks were really tired, and you could see it. As you know, Coach Tom Thibodeau runs players through the ground tremendously. He's always done it, going back to his days with Chicago, going back to his days with Minnesota, and now with the Knicks. He runs his players through the ground. But the only thing that's saving Tom Thibodeau of us saying that he's running his players through the ground and he's not giving them no rest, and that's why they're always fatigued, and that's why they've been fatiguing in this series. The one thing that Coach Tibbs has going for him is he has like 4 rotation players that is hurt. Bojan Bogdanovic is out for the rest of the year. No Julius Randle. Mitchell Robinson's out for the rest of the year. OG Anunoby has a hamstring strain, and even though Jalen Brunson's playing, he's dealing with a right foot injury. So the only thing that Coach Tibbs has working for him right now that's defending him is he has like 4 or 5 rotation players that are out. So he has to run his players through the ground. They have to play with huge minutes. Josh Hart played game 1 and game 2, all 48 minutes, game 1 and game 2. He did not get his first rest until game 3 and game 4 of the series. So like I just told you, granted, Coach Tibbs is kind of getting defended because he has 4 or 5 rotation players out. But the reason that he has 4 or 5 rotation players out is because they're injured, because he's ran them through the ground. Now you have people like Alec Burks playing, who wasn't even in the rotation. Now he has to play because the players are hurt. My thing is, why not just put Alec Burks in there and spare them guys some minutes and get those guys some rest and throw people like Alex Burks in there when those other guys are healthy, so you can rest those guys a little bit and then bring them back in. Don't want to play Alec Burks now when you don't have a team because the rest of your guys are hurt because you don't ran them through the ground because they playing every second of the game. That's my thing with it. So, that's the only thing that's saving Tom Thibodeau right now is that he doesn't really have any players. 4 of his players are out, so he has to run those players to the ground. But it's still his fault, though, because you don't have to play your players the whole entire game when you have a bench when they're healthy. Except for now, they're not healthy. But when they are healthy, you have a bench, Tom Thibodeau. You never, ever used it throughout your coaching career, and that's why the guys are hurt right now. So he has to run the guys through the ground that he has available to him. But the Knicks still have the advantage because they're going home for game 5. Like I said, they have home court advantage. The refs are probably going to be on their bull crap. That's 2. They're going to be on their bull crap. They're going to get the benefit of the whistle all night long. So they're in less trouble. The Minnesota Timberwolves are in more trouble. To answer my question, the Minnesota Timberwolves are in more trouble than the New York Knicks because the Minnesota Timberwolves have to go up against the defending champions. No disrespect to the Indiana Pacers, but the New York Knicks are going up against the Indiana Pacers. The Knicks probably get game 5 tonight, and if they don't get game 6 at Indiana, they come back home for a game 7, which they probably end up getting that game. If somehow the Indiana Pacers can pull off an upset and beat the Knicks at the Garden, then I would be shocked if that happens, but I will also be happy if it does. But the Minnesota Timberwolves are the team that's in a lot of trouble. That's all I have for you guys today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know which team do you think is in more trouble? The New York Knicks in their series with the Indiana Pacers, or is it the Minnesota Timberwolves in their series with the defending champion Denver Nuggets?